Today, though, we were originally supposed to talk about dreams, what science of dreams basically mean. Now, I know with the states right now, though, that the states is going through a lot of turmoil because of the dumb idiot, the president, which should not ever been elected, is trying to cause a whole bunch of ruckus, even with his husband slash wife. Um, Elon Musk is actually causing troubles against countries. Yes, I love that reaction. But yes, what's going to go on today though is since right now though there's a lot of heart that's actually out there, and thinking so that the hold is actually on for 30 days, but we don't know what's going to happen after 30 days. What I kind of figure though is best off to do is do more with spiritual. We've been talking more to do with certain things about spiritual, and that's to do with actually more or less waking up to the spiritual community. But right now, though, there's got to be a lot more to be talked about within the spiritual.
Oh, there's
And
always a lot to be, there's always stuff to be talked about in the spiritual because that is such a broad, no, I don't want to say broad, but such a big subject to broach. Does that make sense?
yes, yes, it does.
Okay, because when you think about spiritual and spirituality and spirit stuff, it's like, wow, where do we start?
Yeah,
And there really is no end to it because when you find out something really good about something and you feel like you've learned it, there's another level to go to.
yeah, yeah. And with
Sorry,
it,
I get.
no, it's true though, because some of us though we're actually on the path of finding ourselves. We're actually finding about to do with our spiritual life, our own life directly with on that journey of life with spiritual stuff. But if you're actually on a journey of your own self, finding your own self, you're more or less actually on a spiritual journey yourself. I'm
Oh,
sorry for saying
yes.
that so many times, but it's so
Well,
true.
no, it's true. I love the one we are not, how does that go? We are not bodies with souls. We are souls that have bodies.
Yeah,
And when you think of it, souls that have bodies, you realize that this package that we're in right now is just that because it will die and it will deteriorate and it will be no more.
yeah.
What happens to the soul? It just goes on to the next package.
Yeah, and a lot of people for that there, they believe though that hey, yeah, we're gonna go up to the pearly gates or go down to the firing pits, and some people believe though that yeah, we were reincarnated. There's something different stuff actually out there, but we're actually here on Earth for a very short time. It
Oh,
might
yeah.
it might seem as though that we're here for a long time, but we're really not.
Well, you even talk with people who have lived at least to the late 90s and going even into the hundreds now. And like, I've heard different people say the same thing. You're not here that long.
No.
You're not here that long. And it's giving you something, it gives you something to think about.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
and
if you're not here 100 years, you know how long that is? That would go all the way back to the 1920s, my God. And that was just, and then you think about 1920s, this country was formed in the 1700s. And they came over in the 1600s, and there were people here coming from Europe way back in the 1000s.
yeah,
And then we have the Roman Empire, which is way even precedes the Common Era, rather than I rather prefer that before Christ, the religious thing.
yeah.
And when you think about the whole history of the United of the not just the United States, but the whole world, it's like, yeah, we are just up in the whole thing. We're not that long. Even 100 years is not that long.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like
Sorry,
that. So no, no,
I'm in
no,
that
no,
kind of
no.
mood today.
It's true. It's true though. The reason why is because I was watching one gentleman though, and he's actually on YouTube though, right? Um, as a Canadian though, a lot of people within the states don't realize right where certain things from this that are Canadian. Like one thing though is basketball. Yeah, basketball might be high in the States, but it is Canadian. It was created here in Canada, right? There's so much stuff all together. But what we need to do though is not be separated like what the dumb idiot wants us to do. We have to work together. We have to show though that the truth is actually out there.
You know, I've said this before, and it just brings to mind. I've read a lot of science fiction over the years,
Yeah,
and in many, 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 many of these stories, when we go to another planet. It is not a planet of countries. It's not a planet of different politics. It's kind of united.
yeah,
I mean, yeah, there are differences, but it's not like here. It's not where there's all kinds of countries and all kinds of religions and all kinds of this. It's one.
yeah, yeah. And that
Live
sort of
long and prosper.
goes with spiritual. Spiritual though, hey, there's different ways how to be more spiritual. What we've been doing those for the past while is helping you guys sort of actually on your journey of road and sort of helping you guys to understand about spiritualism quite strong. Um, there might be some areas though that you guys agree, you guys disagree, but we're not 100% perfect. I can't say though that as brother Chris, I'm 100% perfect, and I bet Gypsy Lady can say that also.
Oh, I know I'm not.
So
When I
we,
die and I go before St. Pete and he's ready to make the decision, he'll say, "By the way, remember that day?" And oh my, I know where I'm going now.
yes.
All I
So
can hear is Johnny Cash in the background singing, "I fell into the burning pits of hell."
it's like it's a, but
Sorry.
yeah, I know lately for myself though, I'm be going through a lot. Not only due to what has happened a year ago, I've been going through so much altogether. And this one thing though, what I can say is, yeah, I'm gonna be getting inheritance money, but the thing though is, money to me does not mean anything. Money to me though is a one-time thing. Money might bring happiness with some people, but once you get rid of that money, what do you really have? You really have yourself. And with myself though is what I've been lately doing though is I've been evaluating myself actually here on Earth. What I say though is Turtle Island because right where we live. But the thing though is like how can I say this coming year I'll be taking my husband actually out to right where I came out true to myself, and it was more or less a connected area, and it's gonna be Victoria, British Columbia, which is just above Seattle, Washington. But to myself though, that feels like home. But the thing though is, right when I'm actually out there, like I actually just asked a friend of mine though that was live actually underneath his show, and his name is Jeff Richards. He used to be actually on APTN, which is the Aboriginal Television Network, and that was Spirit Talker. It's not a Spirit Talker, but the other side. And I just said to him, "Well, what do I need to do actually out there to get
And he,
more connected with Mother Earth?" Go ahead. You gonna ask something?
no, I was just, and he said what?
He said basically those I need to basically connect more with actually the tree, the earth, and the water out there. Take tobacco. Do more meditation out there. And that's
Good
one
one.
thing. That's one thing that was with us here directly. I'm like talking to everybody that's listening. We're always too busy, but are we really busy, or do we want to be busy? So it's like so. It's just sort of like with you, Gypsy Lady Eva.
Oh yeah?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
me?
yeah, yeah, yeah. You used to be constantly busy, right? With the store and all
Yes.
that.
With the what?
With the family store,
Oh yes,
right?
yes. That was a trip. I enjoyed it though. I met a lot of people, a lot of different, or came across a lot of different ideas, but it taught me a lot about tolerance. And you had to be very tolerant in the store because if you said something wrong, you lost a customer. And they may have been one of the better customers that you had. So you listen to them, you nod. You may not agree, but you don't show disagreement either because that can be just as much harm.
Yeah.
So you learn tolerance, or I learned tolerance. And it also, because I was learning the tolerance, it also opened me up for willingness to learn things that I never believed in or things that doesn't, no, that's not right. It opened me up that there are different ideas out there. I should listen to them. Take the time to listen because you can learn so much about yourself. And oh, yes, I can think of one thing. Because our store is in a Amish area, I had a chance to meet some very interesting people. And the one was a teacher for the Amish kids, which was very interesting because she does not have a teaching degree, but she has a certification through the state of Michigan. I don't understand it. But one day I said, "Can I ask a question?" And she said, "Yes, you can." About your being Amish. She said, "Yes, please, don't hesitate." I said, so I asked her the question, and she said, "That's a good question. I don't think a lot of my people would take the time to answer it. I figure you should know." I said, "I don't know. Tell me about it."
Yeah.
And because of that, just that first question, I learned a lot about the Amish that I had never known. And it opened my mind to other lifestyles that I had never considered before. Living without electricity, are you crazy? I could live without electricity, but not about with hot water and upper toilets. No,
No. especially
no,
with especially with those outhouses, and if somebody tips it
in the
over,
winter.
yes.
I
It's-
always say, yeah, your pee will freeze before it gets out of you.
yeah, yeah. It's like so, but yeah, there is so much though. Even with spiritual, there's always so much though they have to do. There's awakening. There's journeys. There is way a lot more, and we like basically on my side. I don't know if Gypsy Lady Eva even agrees with me, but what we've actually been talking about and we've been putting here in the Podbean, we hope though that that's actually encouraged you guys a little bit more to understand more about spiritualism and what to do and even how to connect with the spirit side. There's a lot of people that don't fully understand, so we hope though that you do actually understand.
And understand, just because we say we're studying spiritualism, we're no, not spiritualism, spiritual attitudes, maybe. I don't know how to put it because spiritualism is a whole, I don't want to say religion, but belief system.
Yeah,
Being spiritual is not so much a belief system as it is a way of life. And you can be the most devout, fill in the blank. And if you're not practicing the spiritual side of your religion, you're really not practicing it. You're
yeah,
just living the rules, so to speak. At
yeah.
least that's my thought.
Yeah, and it's true though because if you look at people that say, "Oh, I'm Christian," all right, they're not
Don't get me started.
people though that sort of people that sort of say that they are a Christian, right? They're going down to everything in the T, all right. But are they truly living the life by walking it, or are they just saying it? That's the best.
They talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk.
That's right.
Well, one of the example was always brought up when we talk about spiritual being a Christian. If Christ were to walk in, excuse me, if Jesus were to walk in to their church, they would probably kick him out because he was brown. He had short curly hair, probably a beard. Uh, he didn't look like all the pictures that you see of Jesus.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes, I
If you
do.
took if you took the actual presence of what Jesus probably looked like he would not be accepted in most Christian churches.
Yeah.
And that's not being spiritual. That's being an idiot. But that's just,
Yeah.
I'd let that slip.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
apologize.
Well, no. It's so true. The reason why is because here actually on since I said though that we're actually here on a short time, we're judging people. And I love the old saying though is if you're pointing a finger, how many fingers are really pointing back at you? Right? And it's so true though. Um, like yeah, Canada is coming into one basically because of what's taken place right now in the news. So that I'm pretty sure that the whole world understands. I know about Mexico and Canada and everything else, especially with China, right? But the thing though is we are showing though that we are coming actually as one. We might work as one, right? Actually, like the whole world. Some people might think that they're higher and mighty because of all the loss of millions that they have and all the lawsuits that they have. But the thing though is we all can't be judging others, right? And the big thing though that actually I love though I just recently heard. I'm sorry for bringing this up, Gypsy Lady Eva, but the
Okay,
states,
I'll cringe now.
the states though. If you want to take away all the foreigners, actually out of the states, 95% of the people within the states would be moved. That would leave only 5%. The grocery stores would close up. Everything would close up.
Well, in California, is it? They're already having problems with it because they can't harvest the crops.
Yeah.
It's already starting. And I can't remember where the other place was that it was just in the news yesterday. I'm drawing a complete blank. I There was three restaurants that had to close because all the people were gone.
Yeah.
And these aren't criminals. These aren't mentally unstable people. These, well, that's, but they're not the ones that the ICE is looking for.
That's right.
And I'm sorry, but what the are you trying to prove here, Mr. Trump?
Yeah.
And I
It's
do
a,
not call him president because he is not a
he
president.
is not a president. No, no, no. And especially right when he's actually getting all the celebrities, like Dr. Phil, which is only a TV person, Dr. Oz, right, which is only a TV person, to do the jobs. It's like
Well,
hello.
all right, look at the woman that they just nominated or just swore in as attorney general. She looks like a stage prop.
Yeah. It's like
Let's
so.
face it, she looks just, I mean,
Yeah. So we're gonna go back to spiritual about being more spiritual. so
oh,
so
oh,
it's like
oh,
so. But yeah, I know. I actually have a couple cards in front of me. I know you probably have your cards right around you.
no, I
No.
don't.
Okay. All right. All right. That's fine. That's fine. That's
Well,
fine.
I've got a different deck that I can use.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So I. What we were talking though, and this stuff is to be a little more spiritual. Um, right. So the first card I have though is Spirit of the Earth. Basically though is what it's saying though is that we need to connect more with Mother Earth. And that's what the gentleman was saying though is we need to connect more with Mother Earth. And that's one thing I want to do though is right when I'm actually out west. Mother Earth though, a lot of people are still destroying. But we have to more connect with her. She is a great spirit. Doesn't matter whereabouts in the world you are. If you're overseas, if you're in Timbuktu or whatever, connect more with Mother Earth, and Mother Earth is going to respond back to us and give us a lot more answers if we do a lot more meditation. The second one, though, I got those medicine man or medicine woman. There might be a lot more medication actually out there saying, oh, yeah, do this, do that. But more or less connect more with the spirits, sort of meditate, calm down, and listen to your body. Doctors might not know your body at all. You might know your body better than what the doctors are saying, instead of doctors saying, oh, take this pill, take that pill. But more or less, listen to your body, meditate. Your body's going to release actually the information to you once you start meditating. The last one, though, is actually prayer feather. So, prayer feather. So, yep, that's it there. Right? And we're with prayer feather, though, is once we connect more with Mother Earth, more with ourselves, right? The better it's going to be with prayer, with the prayer feathers. The reason why is we're going to start giving more thanks to the universe itself, and that's one thing that's not going on nowadays. So those are a couple cards actually I have for you. Now, Gypsy Lady Eva is connect more or less with her cards.
Okay, the deck that I'm using today is called the St. Peter's deck, St. Petersburg deck, I believe. Yeah, and it's a Russian deck. You can see the
Yes,
art
the good
has a
Russian
very,
deck.
I shouldn't have pulled that one up, but
So,
here's a better one.
okay,
The
yep,
Russian deck. You can see the Russian influence on it. And it's kind of interesting because when you're doing tarot, one of the things that you are taught is the major arcana are big things happening now
yep,
and very shortly. And I shuffled the deck. I have not used it for a while, so it was pretty fresh. The first card I pulled up was Death. The second card was the Sun. Death. That was the first card I actually showed you.
yep,
Death, the Sun. Pull it out. Trying
yep.
not to
There we
get
got
that.
it. We got it. Yeah.
And Strength.
Okay.
Strength.
Yeah.
I love that one because it's got the lion on it, and I'm a cat person. And I looked at all, I'm like, whoa, that's interesting. I think we're in for a big, big, I think we're in some for some really interesting times within the next 6 months. And just because it's the death card, everybody thinks, oh, die, you're well, you can take it one of two ways. Number one, it is indeed death, as in dying. And there is a big thing right now that there is some viruses going around, and it's mostly in Africa, but it can happen here really quick. And there is a flu that's also hitting the United States. So, yes, there is physical death out there. But that's not how I read the card. Death means just the ending, an ending, but it's not a spiritual ending, it's a physical ending. So things are going to change and they're going to make you really, really begin to reevaluate, change your ways. And the sun is telling me that, yes, things are going to change, but look at it in the light of the day. Don't play with just the facts that they give you. Don't depend on that because that's not going to give you what you need to know. You've got to look through the darkness into the light to see what the facts really are. And right now, there are so many lying lies that are being flying around that you got to look. And strength tells me that we need to really sit back and look at things because right now, or not take things and learn about them and have the strength to move to the next day, so to speak. That's what strength is telling me. So when you start looking at things, use your intuition, like the sun, to bring it into the light. And with the strength, you may not get the answer that you're looking for because, after all, we all know what the truth is, don't we? Yeah, right. I'm sure. But the sun has the light to show the truth, and you have to have the strength. Use meditation, use prayer, use whatever it takes to calm you into that or put you into that state of opening and acceptance. And then the finishing card is the Fool. And a lot of people look at that card and think, the fool. Hmm. But what this tells us is that in this time right now, it's time to start a new journey. It's time to start looking at things and look at them with a more spiritual light. And look at them, or not a spiritual light. Well, yeah, a spiritual light, but a spiritual attitude, because that's what's going to get us through. Uh, the storm is coming. We have to have the strength to endure the storm. But once it gets through, we're like the fool. We start our journey all over again.
Yeah.
But we are given the chance to do it again. And this time, let's get it right. Get a man who really knows what he's, or a person that really knows what they're doing in the office.
Yeah, it's like that's a well. I love when one great example of since that loser is actually right now in power, and I'm still gonna call him a loser. Um, Now, if Kamala actually got in power, and this is what somebody actually said to me, would the states in Canada and Mexico and China be right where we are nowadays? No, we would not. Kamala would have brought more peace, more joy and happiness altogether. But the thing though is with their spiritual life though, what we have to do though is like I love what you said though, is basically those get the facts straight, pretty much. Right?
Well, I was watching the news this morning, and they were talking about this whole thing in that Elon has done with USAID, USA or USAID or something like that. I think I'm saying it right. And what he is telling people that it is an evil, dominating. He was using very bad terms about this. And I know people who've worked for them, and the work that they do is tremendous.
Yeah.
And one of the things that he worked with is the babies that have AIDS. With the inoculation of the vaccines and stuff that they can give them, these babies are saved. And some of these babies who are born with AIDS die within 12 weeks. 12 frickin' weeks.
Yeah.
No, but that's what Elon is doing.
Yeah, yeah. He's
And
giving
nobody knows about that.
giving wrong information, wrong prophecy altogether. I know though that they said years ago though that there would be turmoil, and though that somebody would be coming forward, saying though that they are actually high. Sorry, this is like a Christian thing. Somebody would be coming forward, higher prophecies and all this and that, but false lies. And this is actually to do with terms actually of Christ coming back.
That has come up many, many, many times in conversations that I had with different people,
Yeah,
that we are indeed in final times and the Messiah is very close. And I'm not saying that it can't happen,
yeah,
but how many times in the last 2,000 years has it been said it's the end
yeah, yeah,
times?
yeah.
It's
No,
here.
like I love the one verse though, Matthew 24:24. No man knows exactly what time or what hour. But the thing though is, I know Elon Musk right now. He's actually with his vehicles. He's actually being charged with all of his vehicles. Um, False, wrong information, all that. But the thing though is, with us spiritual, right, and everything else, I keep on coming back to spiritual. We have to learn and listen to ourselves. Don't listen to media. Listen to ourselves and be able to understand ourselves a little bit better.
I
Especially at this time a year of what's going actually on with our world.
I disagree with you a little bit. I think we have lost, first of all, I think we have lost the ability to really listen, and I think we have lost the ability to discern truth from untruth. And I tell people I listen to several different newscasts that range from very liberal to very conservative.
Yeah,
But I do that because the very liberal gives this picture. No, I'm trying to think of how to say this. The very liberal has this slant on what's happening, and you go over to the very conservative and they have that slant on it, and in between are all these other different, and you can discern truth out of that if you just sit and listen. And it doesn't take that long. It's not going to take you all day to do this. You can do this just flipping through the channels, so to speak,
Yeah.
if that makes any sense.
Well, your channels, though, are they American or are they also Canadian or world?
One of them is the BBC, one of them is Al Jazeera,
Okay.
and the rest of them are American.
Okay.
So
All right. So you
I
don't get.
can't
So you
get,
get. You
that's
don't
the only
get. You
ones that
don't
I
get.
can't.
You don't get Canadian unless if I send it to you.
Yeah, I suppose I could go online and pick it up through a streaming online.
Yeah.
Uh, but it's a lot of work. I'm sorry. But
It's
I
like a.
figure, plus when I do go online, I usually go to the BBC and I go to Der Spiegel, which is a German publication. And yes, I do get it in the English because I can't read German other than schnitzel and strudel and
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, so
I
you.
speak great German.
So you don't really understand what "Was ist los ist Dummkopf" means.
I am not. That I know.
Okay. That's like it's a yeah no my next door neighbor growing up though he was German and he kept on saying to me "Was ist los ist" and also one day he called me a Dummkopf.
No, you don't want to be called. Well, Doomcough is okay. There's a couple others that I know, but I'm not going to
So
say it online.
it's like it's a but yeah no and one thing though is with media Canada right now we're going through a major election provincial and also federal.
Oh,
So basically, those we got Justin Trudeau sorry, not federal, but provincial. Sorry, provincial, and then what to do with actually with Justin Trudeau. So we're going to be going through that big time here in Canada, here in Ontario directly. Um,
okay. I have a quick
Go
question.
ahead.
Step out of this into the police. What do you call is it the prime minister that you have in Ontario,
Yeah,
or is that a different name? Well,
Prime
then what
Minister
is Trudeau?
Trudeau is the Prime Minister of Canada.
Okay,
All right, and
just
then
curious.
yeah, so that's for Canada, and then right now though it's a dumb idiot for Ontario. His mic was actually
I gave him credit. What was it? Last week he came on and smacked. Oh, when the tariffs came out, the way he
yeah.
smacked Trump, and I'm going, yeah, he's a
Yeah,
good guy.
it's like so. Yeah, no, for Ontario though, right now, the one that's in charge though actually has his mic on, and he's totally different off mic compared to on mic. All right, and it's like
Aren't they
so
all?
things got leaked through. So yeah, now the thing though is what was it going to right there? Yeah, question.
Sorry.
The question was with all the media that's actually out there. Should there be a new network though that actually gives a lot more different information actually altogether? That's getting more to the point compared to all the rest of the media is actually indicating things. And
That's a good question.
my reply was yes, we need that directly. The reason was because we need the truth actually given out. There's so much lies, so much things so that the media cannot give out,
I
or too scared to actually say.
I agree
So
with you on that. I think you're right. However, my question would be how long before they become corrupt?
yeah,
And I don't mean dirty corrupt. I mean just they cease to tell the truth.
yeah. It's like so again those
So,
I know we went off topic, but with spiritualism, what can you say to people for spiritual stuff?
there's a lot of resources out there that you can go to find information. The online stuff is tremendous. There are some good sites, there are bad sites. Uh, take your pick. But the good sites give you this information. And the ones that have been around a little long, well, that's not, I can't say that either. There are ones out there. Start asking questions, start reading it. You'll soon discern whether or not this is a good site or a bad site. Uh, as we were talking earlier, the spiritual sites don't really get into religions or
Yeah,
religions. They just get into the core of what these religions are trying to teach. The best example I can think of in one that crosses all religious lines: do unto others as you would have others do unto you.
yeah,
No matter where you look, it's there. It may be a little bit different, but it's there.
yeah,
And that's how you can kind of tell whether this is going to be a good site or a bad site. And it doesn't immediately come to your attention. You kind of have to read a little bit to pick it up. And some of these spiritual sites I have noticed, if they don't last very long, they weren't very good to
no, no,
begin with. Because I don't want to say they were giving bad information, but they weren't giving good information. They weren't giving any information. They were just playing to this, well, what I call the candle burners and crystal touters.
yeah,
Not that there's anything wrong with candle burning and crystals. I have plenty of crystals myself, so it's not like, and they do help. There's a certain thing, and as for candles, it's just a nice thing. I love it for each of that. But you know, some of them go to the more commercial side of spiritualism, and that's not good. That's not good at all.
yeah,
And you will soon be able to tell the difference. And the more you read about spiritualism, the more you begin to understand what it's really truly all about. And you will have that aha moment, the epiphany. There's a lot of different names for it
yeah,
that will give you what you want to know. And that doesn't mean, and it doesn't, and as I want to add that just because you go into spiritualism or spiritual beliefs does not mean you're giving up your religious beliefs. It just means you go deeper into what they are and you really begin to understand the message of what these religions are trying to tell you.
yeah,
Like I say, the one that crosses all the lines, do unto others, you find it everywhere.
yeah, yeah. That's like us. And the
And go ahead.
sorry for cutting you off. And the thing is, once you start learning more within the spiritual, even though that, yeah, we'll give you guys certain topics, but once you start developing actually more with your own spiritual, you will understand about listening to your body more. Listen to your soul more. Your soul's going to start speaking to you a lot better than anything else. You were just laughing.
I'm sorry.
Were you thinking
I
about another
had
song?
I had a nurse here today who's a physical therapist. And she said almost the exact, listen to your body. And I says, all my body is doing is screaming.
That's like, but yeah, I know your body and your spirit's going to start speaking to you a little bit more. Stop rushing. Take some time actually out to yourself. If you have kids, right? If the only time though that you can meditate though is actually in the bathroom, meditate in
Well, you're
that.
doing something
Yes,
natural.
yes, yes, yes. That could be that could be anything in the bathroom, right? Take the time, connect more. If you need to, like what Gypsy Lady Eva says, light a candle. Concentrate on that candle with that flame, the way that the flame is moving. That's a great way actually how to help you for meditation. There are so many people actually out there though that will actually say things to you. Oh, do this, do that. But the thing though is you have to start working on showing yourself.
And just because you follow one path doesn't mean it's the wrong path.
Yeah.
Uh, it can be a wrong path, but the point that I'm getting at is, you know, like Brother Chris says, there'll be people out there, oh, you can't do that. Why not? If you connect to the self within and the greater self, or the creator spirit, or whatever you want to call it, that's what it's all about. And if you make that connection, then you're doing something right.
Yeah.
Even if it's somebody stands there, well, you can't do that. Well, why not? It works for me.
Yeah. So it's like, gosh. Well, we do say thanks a lot to everybody for tuning in, though. So you guys have a wonderful time. And let you know, our next topic, though, that we are going to be talking about, though, is actually to do with dreams. This one, though, the Gypsy Lady even wanted for longest time. We're going to be talking about certain dreams. We're going to be talking about that all together.
Dream,
So,
dream. Sorry,
but yes, the if I go to my
song for
if I
everything.
go to my footnotes. All right, so I'm clicking that right now. Hopefully, you guys can hear that little click, click, click. All right, so that way we're gonna be talking about spiritual meanings of dreams. That's what we're gonna be looking at. So, again, those join us underneath our next podcast, and you guys have a wonderful day, and be in light.
Thank you for joining us. Your time is appreciated.